Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mind for Life podcast. I'm Dr. Jeff Bogazic, and today I'm going to give you 5 priorities, 5 things that you need to focus on when you're starting a new job or when you are starting at a new company or when you are starting at the beginning of your career. I had someone ask me this in a Instagram video. I'm starting a new job. What should I focus on? And I thought, boy, this is super valuable for people that are starting their career. If you are young, in your 20s, and just starting out, or if you are in your 30s or even 40s and starting at a new organization, these are what I think are the top 5 priorities, the things that you should focus on as you're starting your career, as you're starting a new job. And so I think it's going to be great. You're going to want to share this with somebody. You're going to want to send it to maybe your nephew or your son or daughter or niece or somebody you know that's just getting started, and maybe add your commentary on there. And by the way, if you do have any other thoughts on what are the things you've learned that people should focus on as they're starting their career, just drop those in the comments. And I think this can be a great opportunity for people to use this to learn and grow and develop in their career and as they begin. By the way, this podcast is sponsored by Charm XP. Charm XP is an AI-powered app that allows you to practice your communication with an artificial intelligence. So there are scenarios that you can start and dealing with conflict, or dealing with how do I get to meet someone, or dealing with difficult conversations. And so you go into the app, you start a scenario, and it gives you feedback. You have a conversation with the artificial intelligence, and these guys have developed what I think is one of the best apps out there. You have a conversation, and then when the conversation is done, the app gives you feedback on your tone of voice, what you said, and gives you constructive criticism on how you can do better. And so I've partnered with them. A lot of people have said, boy, thank you so much for this. This has been an incredible app. So I will leave the link in the comments for you to go ahead and check it out and give it a try. If you are wanting to learn and develop and grow your communication skills, giving feedback to someone, giving criticism to someone, entering into a difficult conversation, meeting someone new for the first time, this is a great app. It's a great way for you to practice. A lot of people will give you scripts and just things that you should memorize and say, and those are great. And I have a scripts download, and I'll put that in here as well, along with a workbook that allows you to learn more about developing the scripts, because it's not enough just to learn memorized phrases. What you want to do is learn the skill, right? How to communicate better, not just being able to regurgitate words or sentences or phrases. That's a great starting point, but I have a scripts that you can download that gives you the starting point. Then there's a workbook that allows you to learn how to use those things in the context and the environments. And then there is the Charm XP app, which then allows you to practice in real time and get good feedback. So if you want to learn that, take a look in the show notes here, and I will provide those things. Okay, so let's get into it. 5 things that you should focus on when starting a new job, or when starting in a new position, or when starting your career. Number 1, make sure the expectations are clear. One of the biggest problems that people have going into a new job or career is, number 1, they don't understand what they're supposed to do, what their bosses, their managers, or their colleagues expect from them as far as contributing to the team. They don't know that. You don't often go in that. And a lot of times those expectations are not clearly communicated. And what somebody else, maybe a boss or a colleague, thinks is clearly communicated, oh, it's in the handbook, or oh, it's in the employee manual, is not always so clear. So make sure the expectations are clear. We call this meta communication. Meta communication is communicating about how you Communicate. And so you are clarifying the roles, your role, your colleague's role, your boss's role, who you report to. You are just clarifying that. And so you can say, what are the expectations of me? What are your expectations of me? What's my job on this team? Just to be clear. And then when they say it, you recite it back. Okay, so let me make sure I'm hearing this correctly. I'm expected to X, Y, and Z. And so you communicate the expectations out. If you are coming into a management position, you better be clear about your expectations of the people that are under you, because people don't know that. And you go in thinking that they just know what they're supposed to do. No, you have to communicate that. And I promise you, if you will communicate the expectations up front, clearly and multiple times, you will save yourself a lot of headaches down the road. And you will save yourself from hearing from people, well, I didn't know that's what I was supposed to do. Or didn't you know that's what you were supposed to do? So clearly communicate the expectations. Make sure the rules of how you are to work in that office or how you are to work on that team, the rules of engagement, you might want to say. Make sure the rules are clear, that you clearly understand them, and that you and the other person, whoever it may be, are on the same page and have the same understanding. That way, if there's confusion, you can come back and say, remember we had this discussion about what my role was and what your role was. Or if somebody gets out of their lane, you can come back and say, remember when we talked about this and this was my job and this was your job and now you're coming into my job. And so I just want to recommunicate and reestablish those boundaries. That's meta communication. And whenever there is role confusion, you're confused about the role, you're confused about the rules, or they're confused about it, that is a space ripe for conflict. And so clearly communicate, meta communicate. Put that down as job number 1. Write it on your list of to do. Meta communicate. What are the roles? What are the rules? Who am I supposed to report to? How do I work? Make sure it's clear. Make sure you repeat it back and everybody's under the same understanding. Number 2, learn everything you can possibly learn. Every job, look at it this way, every job is an opportunity for you to learn skills and learn information that will benefit you in the future. The statistics show that most people will change jobs in the course of their career. Either they will move to another company, they will get promoted into a new role, whatever it may be. It is a rare occurrence where somebody will start in a job and stay in that job for the entirety of their career. And I will say this, if that does happen, you have failed yourself. Right? Because we are here, I believe part of our purpose on this planet is to learn and grow and development. Personal development is important. So when you get into a job, learn everything you can possibly learn. It will benefit you in the future. Learn information about what your boss's job is, because that may be an opportunity for you to get promoted to that job when your boss leaves or when your boss gets promoted, because they are not going to stay in their job either, or when your colleague gets promoted or when your colleague leaves. Stop looking at people's jobs as static and cemented for all time and start learning not only your job, but their job as well. They are going to move on. You are going to move on. And guess what? Perhaps you may be recruited by another company, or perhaps you may want to move to another company. Learn the skills. Learn the information. Get the knowledge in your job now That will benefit you when you move to another company or when you get promoted. So learn all you can, right? Take the time to do that. Number 3, and I think this is incredibly important, and most people don't even think about it until it's too late and put it on the side. Learn the office relational dynamics. So get outside of your own focus and start to observe and learn and understand the dynamics of the relationships within your office, within your team, within your area, within your organization. Become aware of and become a master of the office politics. Politics are nothing more than people relationships matched against power, right? And that happens in all people relationships and in every organization, no matter what. There are hierarchies, and don't fool yourself going in there and thinking that there are not hierarchies. Don't go in there and thinking everybody's on an equal footing, because they're not, and you're not. And if you go in there with this naivete of thinking that we're all on the same level, you're going to get shafted, right? You're going to get pushed aside, or you're going to get pushed down, because people are clamoring for power and position. People are ambitious. That doesn't mean you have to be ambitious and get into that type of a rat race and climb the ladder of success and step on every. You don't have to do that, but you need to be aware of how that is taking place and be aware of it and be able to play and maneuver in that relational dynamic. Know who the influencers are, because there are influencers in your office or in your organization who are not the bosses, who are not the managers, but they are influential people. Know who controls what information, because people are protective of information getting out, because number one, it can potentially damage them, or number two, information is power, and whoever controls information does have power. So understand who controls the information. Know who are the cutthroat people. There are people that will cut your throat in a metaphorical sense to grow and to move up in the organization and to get promoted. And you might go in there thinking these people are just nice people, and they may be nice people. But believe me, when push comes to shove, they're going to try to promote themselves over you. And if you think people are friends, are your friends in an organizational, they're not. They will stab you in the back. They will throw you under the bus. Not everybody, but know who those people are. Know who the cutthroats are. Know who are the jokers or the pranksters, right? There are people in the office that make jokes, and they kind of get some type of self-esteem and ego issue out of that. But you just need to understand the relational dynamics, and most of all, know who's important. Know who's important. And why do you need to do this? Here's why. Because you need to relate to people. One of your keys to success in any job, not just in being able to do what your job requires you to do, but in being able to relate to other people in your organization. And so don't go in there thinking everyone should relate to you. A lot of people go in there just thinking, I'm going to do my thing and everybody needs to relate. No, that is not wise. Wisdom is recognizing that to be successful, you need to relate to other people in the way they like to be related to. Too many people go into positions, new jobs, starting a career. They don't recognize these relational dynamics within the office. They begin to think that they're the main character in this office drama, right? They begin to think Go back to the TV shows that they're the Michael or they're the Dwight, if I'm using The Office, or they're the Jim, right? And they think that they're the main character, and they're not the main character. And you're not the main character. Not yet. That doesn't mean you can't get to become a main character, but you don't start out that way. And you only get to main character position by learning how to relate well to the people in your office in the best way possible. Now, don't turn this into kissing up to the boss. Okay, and there are people that are always going to kiss up to the boss, and so that doesn't mean that you are a yes man and you do everything that the boss tells you to do, but you got to be wise about how you relate to your boss. You can't outshine your boss, right? If you outshine your boss, that can hurt their self-esteem, and they will try to do what they can to get rid of you. Some people are like that, right? They don't want to be outshined. They've got self-esteem. We all have self-esteem. We all have egos. And if our ego gets hurt, if your boss has an ego and you hurt their ego by overshadowing them or outshining them, you better be prepared for the repercussions that come along with that. So learn how to relate well with great wisdom. Learn the relational dynamics. Understand the office politics, and then operate within those relational dynamics with wisdom. So be careful about how you do that. Number 4, provide value. Provide value for your organization. When you make yourself valuable, number 1, you help with your job security. Okay, when you are doing something for the organization and you are providing value, the organization then sees you as valuable and you can provide greater job security. Obviously, if you're doing things that are contributing to the organization's success, people will struggle to get rid of you in times of layoffs or in times of difficulty, and they will want to keep you on because you do so much. Number 2, don't just sit at your desk, right, when your job or your tasks are done, right? If you've got extra capacity, go around and ask people, especially when you're starting your career. Is there anything you need help with? If you've got extra room, is there any way I can help you? Right? When you go find the people, this goes back to understanding the relational, understand who's important, and you go around to those people and say, is there anything I can do? Do you need help with anything? Is there anything that I can help with? Right? You are providing value. Don't just sit there and go, yeah, my stuff's done for the day. I'm going to sit here and do this, that. I'm going to scroll through my phone or whatever. Don't do that. Put your stuff aside, get up, go around. By doing that, what are you doing? You're showing people that you are there, that you're walking around, that you're meeting, that you're relating well, and you are providing value. And what does this do? People will want to reciprocate that. It's the law of reciprocity, right? When you do something for someone, they start to feel an obligation to do things back. Now, will people take advantage of you? Sure. They may ask you to do more. They may take advantage of your help, and guess what they may also do? They may take credit for what you do. So, there are people that are going to do like that. But when you do that, when you go around and you provide value, when you go around and you offer to help, when you go around and give yourself, offer yourself to people, you potentially get people to reciprocate to you and to give back to you. And number 2, it goes back to the second one I talked about. You learn about the organization. You start to learn what that person's job is. You start to see what they do, and then you can learn how to do it. And when that person leaves, as they will, or when that person gets promoted, or when they're looking for a promotion and you come in and you can say, no, I know how to do that. I've done that before. I've helped them. You position yourself better for promotion or for greater success. So provide value for the organization. it's important when you're getting started. That's the best way to kind of set yourself on the path for success. And then finally, number 5, you need to communicate your value. So you have to provide value, but it's not enough just to provide value. You need to be able to demonstrate your value without going around and bragging to everyone about what you do. The right people need to see what you're doing. That's why you find influential people in your organization and you go ask them, do they need help? That's why you go find important people in your organization and you go ask them for help. Because when people with power see you doing and see you providing, when they come to make a promotion or when they come to look for someone for a project, they're going to recognize the people who come to them who are top of mind. So you have to be able to demonstrate that. You have to be able to show that. So I'm not saying here to go kiss up to people or to compromise your integrity, but again, there are people who will take credit for what you do, and you need to be wise about documenting what you're doing and showing the people who need to know what you're doing so that when someone tries to take credit for you, somebody above that person will go, well, no, I know this wasn't this person involved in helping you. Well, didn't this person help you with this project or something like that? And so that documentation and that communicating that out with wisdom in a subtle way through emails to the team members or whatever. I just finished up this part of the project to kind of help with this. I was wondering if I could get some feedback. You send that email out to everyone, and then everyone goes, oh, you did that part of the project, right? So I'm looking for feedback. You have to do that with wisdom, but it's not enough just to provide value. You need to demonstrate and show the right people that you are providing value. And I will liken it to this story or phrase or cliche that we've all probably heard before, and it was a thought experiment, but it's, if a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a noise? Maybe you've heard that before. Does it make a noise if no one can hear it? Well, that's kind of the same way it is with you. If you're doing all of these things and providing value for your organization, but no one, or especially the right people, don't know about it and don't know it's you doing it, it's essentially like you're not doing it. You're a ghost. You're invisible. Things are getting done. Other people are taking credit for it, and no one is recognizing your contribution. So figure out a way to communicate your value with wisdom. Again, you can't go around bragging and telling everyone, no, you didn't do that, I did that, right? That's not wise, and that's not good relational dynamics, going back to the other. That's not relating well to people. So make sure that you showcase what you're doing. Make sure that you communicate with wisdom and tact. Be wise as a serpent, it says, and harmless as a dove. In communicating that, and it will pay off in the long run. And so, again, I think these are 5 important factors if you're just starting a job, 5 priorities that you need to focus on right at the beginning. Make sure the expectations are clear, meta-communicate. That means you going up and saying, hey, what do I need to know? Who does this? Who does that? What are the expectations? Meta-communicate, ask questions, clarify if you need to. Number 2, learn everything you can. Be a sponge, learn everybody else's job, do your job well, but learn what other people are doing. Number 3, learn the office dynamics relationally, understand office politics, know the people, and then learn how to relate to those people in the ways that they need to be related to. Number 4, provide value for the organization. Make yourself invaluable. right? Contribute. Ask the right people if you can help. Those types of things are what get you put on influential teams and get you promotions. And 5, demonstrate that value by communicating it with wisdom. So I hope this helps. If you're just starting in your career, prioritize these things. Remember, these aren't things that you just do in one day or 1 week or 1 month. These are things that take time, but you can start doing these tomorrow, and these things will project your career into the stratosphere if you learn to do it well. Thanks for listening. Again, we're sponsored by Charm XP. Find the link down in the description or in the show notes for this. Appreciate it. If you've got comments or questions, please put them in there as well. Try to respond to those as well. If you'd like to join my newsletter, I'll put the link for that down there. But appreciate you listening today. Thanks a lot and have a wonderful week.